A very good morning to all. So in the previous class, we discussed that Ashoka the Great, he communicated to his people through edicts. So edicts are the rules and laws ordered by a ruler. So he communicated to his people through edicts, and these edicts were spread throughout his kingdom, and it was on rocks, pillars, buildings, caves and so on. And these edicts, it conveyed Ashoka's ideas on administration, religion and behavior of people towards one another and also towards their elder. And these edicts were written in Prakrit language, which was the common language of the people. And here you can see Ashokan edicts in Brahmi script. Here Brahmi script is the oldest Indian script, and it is also the source of many modern languages like Devanagari, which is the Hindi script. So most of the Ashokan's edicts were written in Prakrit language, which was the common language of the people, and these were also written in different languages like Greek, Kharosthi in northwest India. And he also appointed officials who were known as Dhamma Mahamatras, who traveled from one place to another to teach the ideas of Dhamma. And Ashoka himself went on tours of inspections which were known as Dhamma Yatras, and he set an example before his people by giving up hunting and eating meat. And Ashoka treated his subjects as his own children and worked for their welfare, and he built roads, rest houses, hospitals for animals and humans, planted trees and dug wells so that his people can live a comfortable and happy life. Ashoka even sent messengers to spread the idea about Dhamma to other lands like Syria, Egypt, Greece and Sri Lanka. And he also sent his son named Mahindra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka to spread Buddhism. And Ashoka also held a meeting, that is the third Buddhist council at Pataliputra, to remove the differences among various Buddhist groups. So this was about the religious measures. Next, we'll discuss about the Mauryan administration. So most of our knowledge about the Mauryan administration is derived from two books, that is Arthasastra, which was written by Chanakya, and Indika, which was written by Megasthenes. So we have already discussed that Chanakya was a wise Brahmana who supported Chandragupta Maurya in establishing his empire, and this book consists of Chanakya's political ideas. And the next book is the book Indika, which was written by Megasthenes, and Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador sent by Seleucus Nicator, who stayed at Chandragupta's court at Pataliputra for several years, and this book consists of his experience during that period. And here, that is during this period, the king had supreme power and he took important decisions only after consulting his ministers, who were known as Mantri Parishad. And as you all know that the Mauryan Empire was very large and it was divided into many provinces such as Suvarnanagari and Takshila. So these were some of the provinces, and these provinces were again divided into districts which consist of towns and villages, and each had a headman named Gramika. And here the capital city, that is Pataliputra, and its surrounding territories were directly controlled by the king and his officials who were appointed by the king. And these officials were Amatyas, Mahamatras and Yuktas. So they collected taxes from the people, and they were also responsible in administration of law and justice. During that period, Mauryan state main goal was to improve in the production of agriculture, because it was the main source of income. And here the farmers or the cultivators, they have to pay 1/4 to 1/6 of the total agricultural production as tax. And taxes were also collected on providing water for irrigation. and this tax on water is known as Udaga Bhaga, which is written in Arthasastra book. And other sources of revenues were taxes on trade and craft, on forest produce, on output from mines, and also fines were collected from the people. So this was about the Mauryan administration. Next, we will discuss about the Mauryan art and architecture. So most of the information about Mauryan period we get from Ashoka's edicts, viharas, pillars and stupas. So here viharas are the Buddhist monasteries for monks and nuns, and stupas are the semi-spherical mound containing the relics of Buddha. So most of the informations about the Mauryan period we get from viharas, from the pillars, stupas and Ashoka's edicts. Some of the examples of viharas are the Lumas Rishi cave at Barabar and the Nagarjuna cave near Gaya in Bihar. And here Ashoka during that period built over 84,000 stupas throughout his kingdom, out of which Sanchi stupa is the famous one. So this was about Mauryan art and architecture. Next, you can see the picture of an Ashokan pillar at Vaishali and the lion capital of Ashoka. Now this lion capital of Ashoka is the national emblem of our country, and also you can find the lion capital in Indian currencies. So this was about the lion capital of Ashoka. Now next, let's discuss about the decline of the Mauryan dynasty. So like every dynasty, the Mauryan dynasty did not last forever, but it lasted longer than most of them, and this was because of powerful administration skills and strong rulers. So here let's discuss some of the causes for the decline of the Mauryan Empire. Now the first one is that some historians, they feel that the decline of the Mauryan Empire was due to Ashoka's pacifist policy. So here pacifist means the principle to oppose war, fight or violence. So this was one of the cause for the decline of the Mauryan Empire. The second cause is that after the death of Ashoka in 232 BCE, the Mauryan Empire broke, and the main reason was that the successors or the kings after Ashoka were very weak, and they were not able to manage the huge expenditure of the army and also the economic crisis. So this was the second reason. Now the third one is the invasion of foreigners, and this is considered as one of the main cause for the decline of the Mauryan Empire. So these are the causes for the decline of the Mauryan Empire. And by 185 BCE, the Mauryan Empire has shrunk massively, and the last ruler, Brihadratta, was killed by his own commander-in-chief named Pushyamitra Sunga, who was also the founder of the Sunga dynasty. And the period after the Mauryan saw the rise of many small kingdoms all over Indian subcontinent. So this was about the Mauryan Empire. Now the next, you can see you have an activity. The activity is you have to read about Cyrus the Great, given in page number 66. You have to record it and submit in Teams. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.